to succinctly put it as it relates to what we're trying to do around this Black Heritage Affinity effort, it is really what we can do to attract, develop and promote and retain more African Americans at the company. How do we become the employer of choice for Blacks?
I know that you all have developed a system of shared leadership over affinity groups. That is a wonderful example. What I will say to you, though, is to extend that work across the organization, you should think of a kind of ratio model where not only do you pick 3 to 4 white people or straight people or men to join in the work of addressing issues of bias around gender or sexuality or race, but you pick 3 or 4 hard cases. The kind of people who are high achievers, who are hard chargers, who would never show up at a diversity meeting like what I'm seeing on a lot of these screens around the rest of the country. And you put those people in the driver's seat for dealing with, not because they have expertise, but because if you can get those people to become evangelists for the work, then you're likely to get a whole lot of other fence straddlers who don't really think this is important.
What can allies, what should the majority of white leaders be doing? What would you tell us to do in a direct way to get to the goal that we want to achieve?
Thinking about the responsibility of allyship is also owning the problem yourself. I'll give you a final example. And I'm in a situation at the Harvard Kennedy School where I've been there a year and a half, and I'll tell you 2 things that are very important. One, that students who are self-selected and identified as future public servants and leaders in this country, whether it's the nonprofit sector or the public sector, and occasionally I have business school students who are getting dual degrees, don't know this history. We're talking about America's best and brightest, and they don't know this history. How can we get it right if we are not teaching this country and its newcomers about this history? I cannot overstate that case. They recognize there's a problem. What's inside of us is attached to our experiences. And in America, our experiences are different. This is a very heterogeneous society. So if you can't see my experiences, and I can't trust that you're interested in seeing my experiences, then how could we ever imagine inclusiveness as an actual value in the company? If inclusiveness only means remove yourself, be like me, come to work and succeed, that is not inclusiveness.
I think a lot of companies, often put out numbers that feel good. I am happy to say that the work that Stephen and I have done with Mike's leadership team has involved us drilling down into, deeply into the numbers. And you're absolutely right when you say, when you look at the senior levels of not just our organization, but across our industry, there's a lack of representation. And we're focused on that, not just at those levels, but the pipeline that feeds those levels, right? And ensuring that we're developing talent in a way, but also designing succession plans in a way and training managers in a way that hopefully change those numbers over time.